And we are live. Just a quick Friday night live stream. Nothing too stressful. We're not going to go for long. I'd say 45 minutes, half an hour, something like that. Just a really quick one. Got a few things to do a bit later, but thought I'd talk some boxing for half an hour or so. You know how it is. Friday night, chilled out, couple of beers. What more can you want? What more can you want? Anyway, we've opened one up. We'll wait for a few people to get in, and we'll talk some boxing. Okie dokie. What we doing here? What we doing? Okay. 1 second. 1 second. There we go. Get rid of that shit. C188. What is going on, man? You've got a bottle of Echo Falls. Fair play, man. We're on beer tonight. We're always on beer, man. We don't really drink anything else other than beer, to be honest with you. We're slumming it tonight. We're on the old fucking Budweiser, so could be a lot better. Could be a lot worse, so I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. Anyway, let's get rid of that shit in the background. There's not much going on this weekend, it has to be said. Caleb Plant's fighting, if you're interested in that. But yeah, a few fights. Yo, Sub Skrilla, I remember you actually, man. Not been in since the name change. Yeah, man. Changed the name for a little while now. But yeah, man, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Echo falls on its own leg. He's waiting until one of Society's rejects messages him after a night out. Exactly. That's how it is, man. That's how it's got to be. Sub Skrilla, I've come to terms now. Yes, sir. It took a long while for people to get used to the new name. Box in the chat, big up Box. Sub Skrilla as well. Yeah, he's still here. Yeah, I just read your name again, man. Welcome back, son. Welcome back. Emmett Oliver, he says Fury stops Wilder. I certainly think it's a possibility if Tyson implements those tactics. But, it's whether he kind of boxes that safety first approach again. I think that's what he'll do personally. But you never know. I think the stoppage is there. But he needs to be more, not even necessarily take more risks. But in the first fight, there's opportunities where Tyson could have opened up, but he never really done so. He needs to, in those moments, obviously let go of his punches a bit more. Be a bit more offensive in certain moments. What he needs to do, in my opinion, is just replicate what he did first time around with a bit more output, and also in the clinch, because those two actually spent a lot of time in the clinch. If you watch that first fight, there was a fair bit of clinching, but the mistake Tyson Fury made as the bigger man, he allowed that clinch to be a safe space for Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury in the clinch wasn't working. He was resting. This time around, he needs to be roughing Deontay Wilder around, whether that's mauling him, pushing him around, or working a free hand. Tyson Fury needs to be a lot more effective in the clinch as the bigger man. That's one thing I really want to see him do in this rematch, because he's got the physicality to do so. He's the bigger man. He's going to have the weight advantage. And I actually think he's the stronger man. So, yeah, in that clinch, I want to see more work from Fury. I really do. Man City banned for 2 years. I saw that Box. Yeah, 2 years ban in the Champions League. I saw that, yeah. Financial, financial irregularities or something like that? That financial fair play nonsense, yeah. That might get appealed, though. You never know. Am I getting dislikes all Boxing Talking News? It is what it is, man. It is what it is. What can you say? What can you say? The thing is, they don't realise a like and a dislike basically are the same thing. It's what they call an interaction. So it is what it is, mate. I'm not particularly bothered. He says, Emmett Oliver, remember the first fight, Fury was after losing 10 stones and wasn't fit to box. February 22nd, Wilder won't be able to handle the strength and skill. That's another thing. This time around, Fury has been a lot more active. He's actually now accustomed to the weight loss. He looks stronger. So you might be right, Emmett. You might be right. But it's going to be interesting. It really is going to be interesting. Junior, what's up, son? How you doing? Good to see you here. Box, he says, I bet Man United still won't get top 5 to get the Champions League. You're probably right, Box. We've been useless this year. Absolutely useless. We'll still mess it up. Don't be surprised to see Sheffield United in the Champions League next year. Imagine that. Chris Wilder and Sheffield United in the Champions League. That could happen right now. They're playing really well. And listen, man, if we can't get 5th spot, we don't deserve to be in there, as far as I'm concerned. We'll see. We've got Chelsea this weekend. That's a big game. The worst thing Man United can do is try and play for 5th spot. I think we still need to play for that 4th spot, to be honest with you. Don't see that 5th spot as like a get out of jail free card. Try and get that 4th spot still. Echo falls on its own leg. Bruno's a baller. He'll get us there. We've got players coming back too. Yeah, we've got players coming back. Rashford, Pogba. Whether Pogba really actually, turns up or not is another matter, but you'd rather have him fit than not, because he is a quality player, whether we like him or not. I like him as a player. I think he's very talented, but I think his heart's elsewhere, to be quite honest. I think Paul Pogba realises returning to United was a mistake in regards to his career, to be honest with you. And I think it was a mistake us buying him as well. We weren't really in the right place to buy him, to be honest. We weren't really in the right place. United, they really have to take a look at what's going on in the recruitment, because in the transfer market, we've been buying dud after dud after dud. Something needs to change in that recruitment because it's going badly wrong. Hopefully Bruno is a quality player. I liked what I saw on his debut. Some good signs. But, time will tell with Bruno. But he's the sort of player we need. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Yeah, C188, he says, our club is finished until Woodward and the board sort themselves out. Exactly. See, a lot of people were saying, our downfall was when Fergie left. Yeah, it was mainly. But also, David Gill was a massive part of our success for a long time. He and Fergie had a great relationship. And they really, they got the business done. They really did. Box, United need Saul or Fabian Ruiz in centre mid, plus Grealish in attacking mid, Sancho right wing forward. Yeah, exactly. We need a lot of players. Box, we really do. I still think we need another world-class centre-back as well, because I think Maguire will be good, but I think he needs a world-class player next to him, like a guy who's more comfortable on the ball, more of a Rolls-Royce type defender. Maguire's great in the air. He's great in the box, but I want to see a better ball-playing defender next to him with a bit of pace. Yeah, wakey, we'll get to boxing, son. We'll get to boxing. Speaking of boxing, Sub-Skrilla Wilder can't afford to be as conservative as he was in the Ortiz rematch, but he also can't get gung-ho and go headhunting from the first, like Fury 1. Needs a balance of the two and a consistent body jab. 100% in regards to that body jab, that was a shot in that first fight that when Wilder threw it, he was landing it. The jab to the body was landing for Wilder. And I think that's something he needs to look at in this rematch. Not only is it a scoring punch, but also it's a great way to really slow down your opponent. If you've ever sparred before, I've never boxed like amateur, but I've sparred a lot. And I'll tell you what, if you get jabbed to the body, the first few you feel kind of feels like nothing. But after a while, that starts to add up and it will slow you down if you've gone a few rounds. So that body jab from Wilder could be a key punch. The Quags in the building, big up to you, sir. Yes, sir, salute Quags. For BDA Mandem, big up to you guys. Big up. Yeah, all boxing talk and news. It's always been great British talent that's made Man United a great team, yeah. BG London, so pissed. Chinese food was out of the question for Valentine's Day. What's popping, Dale? I'm good, son. I'm pretty good. Just a quick live stream. We're not going to go too long. We're not going to go too long, but yeah, just a little bit of unwinding. But yeah, man, I could do with some grub actually. Maybe a bit later. Emmett Oliver. What's what's Chris Eubank Jr. saying he deserves to fight Canelo next? Eubank Jr. is at the back of the queue. Yeah, I agree. Eubank Jr. really needs to set his sights on the likes of Jamal Charlo. They're both PBC fighters, and that's a great fight. If Eubank Jr. could somehow beat Jamal Charlo, he becomes the WBC champion, and he becomes a viable option for a Canelo. That's what he needs to do. He needs to beat one of these guys like an Andrade, like a Jamal Charlo. He needs to beat someone like that. And then, he can get one of these big fights. Do you know what I mean? Exactly, Box. You've said it. You've said it well there. Man United, a former great heavyweights, now a bit punchy. Yeah, exactly. We've got a last run in us, though, 100%. Wakey, Wilder needs 2 seconds. Fury needs 12 rounds. That's true. That is true. Like you say, Wilder can perform as badly as he wants. He could look sloppy. He could be missing all of his shots, but if he lands that one shot, it's curtains. Sebastian Eubank is the Ultimate Fighter. In the Ultimate Fighter, sorry. April 3rd. Okay. Max Kuckerman, when has Wilder ever went to the body? Wilder doesn't understand boxing. He's just a puncher. I think that's true in regards to his boxing IQ. I don't think he's the smartest fighter out there. But I think the body jab is even something he can incorporate, to be honest. Like, he did it in the first fight at times and it was landing, but he never really kept up with it. And I think he needs to do that in this rematch. Wilder's working on body work. Sorry, All Boxing Talking News. Wilder's working on body work and it's his plan to go to the body. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I would like to see Wilder actually attempt it, because I do think Tyson Fury's body is hittable. We saw that in the Otto Wallin fight. Fury's great at moving his head and giving you angles, so he's hard to catch clean to the head. But the body's there, man. He's a 6'9" dude, man. The body's there, but nobody really goes for it. Obviously in the heavyweight division, there's not many great body punchers, but I think that could be an avenue for success. Whoever Tyson Fury fights. Wakey, I'm English. I want Fury to win. But like I said, Wilder has a better chance of the two going into this. A lot of people are picking Wilder in this rematch, I've noticed. Yeah, C188, this is what I'm saying. Jamal Charlo, if he's not going to fight Andrade, he needs to fight Derevyanchenko or at worst, Chris Eubank Jr. I totally agree. No other opponent is acceptable. If you're not fighting Andrade, Canelo, then at least fight the best guys on your stable. And the two best middleweights on the PBC are Derevyanchenko, who's number 1, and Eubank Jr., who's number 2, obviously behind Charlo. So yeah, he needs to fight one of those guys. Box, Canelo wants Callum Smith to be 168.1 pounds as he enters the ring. More than likely, mate, more than likely. But yeah, apparently Callum Smith and Billy Joe have turned down opportunities to fight Canelo. They've turned down the opening offers. So we'll see what happens there. We're halfway through February now, still none the wiser in regards to Canelo's next opponent. We'll see what happens, man. I still think it'll be one of those guys, though, Callum Smith or Billy Joe. I've got a feeling it's going to be Billy Joe. I really do. I think he's going to take less persuading. I really do. I think he wants that big payday. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's Billy Joe for Canelo. I think Callum Smith could play about a bit too much and not get the fight. Wakey. Fury needs to jab and move for 12 rounds. If he goes to the body, he's got more chance of getting caught. Yeah, that in regards to Fury, definitely. But I think on the inside, if Fury can get to the inside, obviously in the clinch, then he can do work there because Deontay Wilder is not a good inside fighter. He doesn't really generate that much power up close. He's got a half decent right uppercut, but that's really it. Deontay Wilder on the inside, in my opinion, is nowhere near as effective. If Tyson Fury can get into that clinch and really use that clinch as an avenue to get some work done, I think he'll have success. Because he's a stronger man than Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. He's a heavier man, and I think he can bully him on the inside if he approaches it that way. But again, getting to the inside is the problem. Do you know what I mean? C188, he says, no more Brandon Adams or Dennis Hogan. It's embarrassing. 100%, son. I totally agree. Murata, yeah, I'm not a fan of him. Murata fight box for Canelo. Oh, yeah, no, box. Yeah, I saw that as well. I actually saw that. Caleb Plant is apparently in the running to fight Canelo. I've got to say, out of Caleb Plant, Billy Joe, and Callum Smith, right now I prefer the Caleb Plant fight because let's be honest about it. Callum Smith lost his last fight, and Billy Joe looked terrible. Whereas Caleb Plant, he's been looking quite good. He's been looking quite good, and he's got a style that could trouble Canelo. So I like the Caleb Plant fight, to be honest. If it's Caleb Plant, I'll be pleasantly surprised, and I'll accept it. If Canelo fights Plant next, I'm down. I'm happy. C188, Joe Gallagher will be the reason Joe Smith doesn't get the Canelo fight. Yeah, probably, mate. Probably. Crazy D3, thank you very much, man. Big ups to Crazy D3 for the super chat. Fury needs to eat battered onion rings to be safe, 100%. Or it could be a case of man down. Man down. Oh, Subskrilla, this is interesting. He says, Del, did you see the Sun's report on Ortiz being next for Ruiz? I don't know where it came from, source-wise, but that's a good fight if it's true. Yeah, that is a good fight. Because Luis Ortiz now, last chance saloon. He's 40 years old, probably more. And Andy Ruiz needs that comeback win. So that's a good fight. That's a crossroads fight because if Ortiz loses, he's done. And if Ruiz loses to a 40-year-old Ortiz, he's in a bad position. So, listen, that's a crossroads fight if I've ever seen it. Teddy Atlas picked Wilder to win. BG London, I saw that actually. Box, Ryder versus Jacobs is being talked about in the future as well. That's a good fight, actually. I like that fight. John Ryder, Danny Jacobs. That's a good fight. That's a very good fight. Yeah, I like that fight, Box. Wakey, leaning your head in for the body leaves your head open for the overhand punch. As long as Wilder practices his footwork, that's how he counters for body shots. Yeah, that is true, yeah. All boxing talk and news, sorry. Richard Dwyer's picking Tyson Fury. So we're okay picking Wilder. Put the house on Wilder. Fucking hell. Yeah, put the mortgage on Wilder. Put the kids' college fund on Wilder. Fucking hell. Yeah, Box, I agree. In regards to Ryder, I felt John Ryder beat Jack Arnfield. I felt he beat Rocky Fielding. I felt he beat Callum Smith. And arguably, you could have scored his fight against Billy Joe in his favour. The only time he's been clearly beat was against Nick Blackwell, of all people. That's when he got stopped. He got stopped on his feet. And that's the only time John Ryder's ever been beaten conclusively. The other fights were either robberies or extremely close. So John Ryder's a really underrated fighter. His inside game is extremely impressive. How he gets his head in position, how he lets go of those short counters on the inside. His jab, that he kind of fights in the crouch and throws this up jab, and he'll quickly close the distance with quick feet. John Ryder's a really, really talented fighter. He really is. If he had more power, that kid would be a fucking menace. Honestly, that kid would be a menace. He's a very good fighter. Dwyer's like that guy from the Bronx Tale, the Jinx. Big up Dwyer. I like Dwyer. I do like Dwyer. Emmett Oliver, what has Hearn done for Billy Joe and Dillian White? Hearn only has one golden goose. I tell you what, he's not really done anything for Billy Joe. As for Dillian White, I think he's done a good job. He's made that guy a pay-per-view star. And, after the Joshua fight, that's a tough loss. Maybe a lot of other promoters wouldn't have really tried to make him into a star. I think he's done a good job with Dillian White in terms of making him a pay-per-view star and, getting him big paydays. But as for Billy Joe, yeah, he's not really done anything yet. Copendo 9, now this is a good fight. Where's your money at? Jeff Horn or Costa Zoo Jr.? Or sorry, Tim Tszyu. Sorry, not Costa Tszyu Jr. Tim Tszyu. Right now, I'm picking Tim Tszyu, to be honest. I'm going to go with Tim Tszyu. Subscrilla, I'm a bit disheartened that Fury seems to genuinely believe he can't win on the scorecards. He just needs to be busier and stay switched on, unlike first time around. Exactly. So yeah, Wilder Ortiz, every card had Ortiz winning. Even the first Wilder fight, yeah, the scorecards were bad. But if Tyson Fury didn't clown around, he'd have won that fight. If he didn't get knocked down in the 12th, he'd have won the fight. So I think he can win on points. Absolutely. He just needs to stay switched on. And that's a problem for Fury. That's a problem. He doesn't stay switched on. Even in the Klitschko fight, he was clowning around. The difference was Vladimir just was so bamboozled, he didn't take advantage of it. Wilder, for all of his faults, he kind of did. You know? Yeah, Box. A lot of people were saying that at the time, actually. When Blackwell fought Eubank Jr., a lot of people were saying Blackwell would give that guy a lot of problems. I thought it would be a harder fight than it was as well, to be honest. I was picking Eubank, but I thought it'd be a hard fight. Crazy D3. Real justice is if Canelo sends an offer to Ryder. Would love to see Gallagher's reaction if it happens. Yeah, man, that'd be sick. That'd be sick. That'd be hilarious. Cobendo9, Ryder proved me wrong at 168. I originally thought he was too small for that weight class. I totally agree, Copend. When he moved up, I really wasn't convinced. He obviously lost to Rocky Fielding. I thought he won that fight, to be honest. Like I said earlier, I thought that was a bit of a robbery. But I still wasn't that impressed with him in that fight. And yeah, I just thought he'd be like a domestic level / European level fighter in that weight class. But listen, before the Callum Smith fight, he went on a really good run. And obviously in that Callum Smith fight, he was excellent. He was really good. So yeah, John Ryder, listen, he's really impressed me recently. He really has. He's a hell of a fighter, John Ryder. He's got a great style to watch as well. Underappreciated, I'd say. Yeah, Box, yeah, when Joe Gallagher got mad at IFL. Who was that? Was that actually Umar? I think it might have been Umar, you know. IFL Umar. Yeah, but Joe Gallagher got mad. Joe Gallagher's a clown, though. BG London's getting harassed. Big up to BG London, man. O'Hare, what's up to you, son? What's up? He said he saw the Sislak Maccabi fight a few days ago. I was surprised with Mikhail. He performed better than I thought, but Maccabi was tough and showed experience. I want to see Sislak again. Yeah, I saw a bit of Sislak before that fight, and he looked okay. I saw a few highlights here and there. I saw some of that fight with Duradola. He looks like a decent fighter, but Maccabi was very seasoned when he fought him. You know, Maccabi's fought some good guys, and he's coming off a really good run, and he can really crack. He can punch. So I wasn't surprised at that result, to be honest. I've still not seen it, though. I need to watch that fight. Apparently, it was a good fight. Let's have a swig of beer. Beautiful. We're drinking, like I said, we're drinking Budweiser tonight, so it's not the best. I've got to say, it's not the best. It doesn't even taste like beer, you know, but it is what it is. What can we do? That's all they had. Box, he said there's no chance the poll was going to get a decision in that Congolese park. Yeah, I felt Maccabi, well, I didn't see it, but from what I heard, most people said Maccabi won a close fight. But again, I need to see that fight. Emmett Oliver, Eubank says he told his son to go to the body against Blackwell over Nick's head injury. Yeah, Eubank Senior can clearly be heard in the corner saying switch to the body as you're having no luck with headshots. Yeah, and they kind of try to, I know what you mean, Emmett. They try to like paint it out that Eubank Senior was being like a kind soul for making Junior go to the body. Yeah, that wasn't the case in my opinion. John Gardiner, do you think Big Frank should make a comeback? Frank Bruno? Hell no. Frank Warren? Maybe, with that shoulder roll. He can go a long way. He's got a better shoulder roll than Floyd. Frank the bullet dodger. That's what we're going to call him. He was a bullet dodger. Well, not really. He got shot, but he survived. So he wasn't really a bullet dodger at all, was he? But there we go. Oh, we're getting fucking spammed out by some chick, you know. Fuck's sake. Oh, wow. Fuck's sake. She can wait, you know. Fuck it. She can wait. Frank Warren dodging bullets to this day. Fucking hell. Mate. Frank Warren with a dent in his forehead. Big up Frank. He's in a bad spot right now, though, Frank Warren. Lost Josh Warrington. He's got no world champions. Listen, he's going to be putting all of his eggs in that Dubois basket. And listen, going into this Dubois-Joyce fight, surely you have to consider that. Frank Warren's stable is being depleted month by month. And Dubois is the guy who he's basically hedging his hopes on. So in regards to judging, officiating, that's going to play a factor. You know, this is a Dubois show. Dubois is the home fighter, so take that into account. Take that into account. John Gardner, do you think Tyan Booth's channel being removed was wrong? And who is responsible? Oh yeah, I made a video about it. 100% it's wrong. Who's responsible? Probably Barry Hearn. If I had to guess, I would say Barry Hearn. Because obviously Tyan brought up a few allegations. Let's just say that. Allegedly, Barry Hearn was in Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book. Allegedly. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Floyd has the most coward style of boxing in history. The worst style I ever saw was what's that dude's name? I wasn't a big Floyd fan, but the worst fucking style. Who was the worst style I've ever seen? The worst style. Probably if you guys remember Miguel Vasquez in his prime when he was champion, he was horrendous to watch. Like awful. Absolutely awful. Fucking disgraceful. Okay, O'Hare, he says Makabu won. Sislak was hurting him. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I heard as well, O'Hare. I heard it was a close fight, but yeah, Makabu just about did it. Oh, John Gardner, he says, Big Frank in his prime versus Joshua, who wins? I think it's a close fight, to be honest. I think Joshua's a more well-rounded fighter. And he's more athletically gifted. People say Joshua's like the new Frank Bruno. They're different fighters. Joshua's a lot better at mid-range. He's got quicker hands, better combinations. And I think he's all-round a better boxer. But Frank Bruno did have a better jab. And arguably, I would say Frank Bruno hit harder. So Frank Bruno could knock Joshua out. But I think if these guys fought 10 times, I think Joshua would win more than he lost. But I still think Bruno would give him a lot of problems. And it'll be a very dangerous fight for Anthony Joshua, in my opinion. Hang on. Emmett Oliver. The way Josh Taylor was treated by Barry McGuigan was a disgrace. Did you hear that shit? McGuigan's a rat. I didn't hear about it. All I heard, obviously, was that Josh Taylor left the McGuigans. That's all I obviously heard. I didn't hear how he was treated or what the reasons were, but I'm intrigued because that's not the first time we've heard that. Obviously, Kyle Frampton, another guy who left the McGuigans on bad terms. So is there something there? We'll see. Do you think McGregor's going to win Do you think McGregor's going to win the rematch with Floyd? No, unless it's in the cage. No. Crazy D3. If Frank struggles to find good opponents and make good events, BT will pull the plug. Yeah, because BT have got the UFC. You know, they've got that. They've got that to look after. And how lucrative has boxing been for them? They've not really put on any super big pay-per-views apart from Fury Wilder 1 and now Fury Wilder 2, but they've not really done much yet. BT. They've put on some good shows. Don't get me wrong, but do you think BT are happy with the product they're putting out there right now? I'm not so sure, man. I'm not so sure. Yeah, the only fighters that Frank has exclusively are Dubois, Yard, and Williams. Yeah, exactly. His stable is really getting depleted. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Dubois is a potential star. Anthony Yard can definitely rebound. You know, he's still fairly young and he's got a good style to watch. He's marketable. He could be a star. Liam Williams is a very good fighter, in my opinion, but he's not exactly a needle mover. So, yeah, Frank's going to have to really, you know, pin his hopes on Dubois and Yard right now. Jay's Boxing Universe, have you heard Canelo's interested in Caleb Plant? It's a good fight, but it's weird they aren't considering an all-Mexican showdown with David Benavidez. That's a good point, Jay's Boxing Universe. That'd be a good fight, actually. Canelo versus Benavidez. But I do like the Caleb Plant fight. I think that's a much better option than Billy Joe or Callum Smith right now, if I'm being honest. Box, he says Chantel Cameron and Conrad Cummings left McGuigan as well. Yeah, I know. Speaking of Chantel Cameron, would you or would you not? Would she get it? Would Chantel Cameron get it? Share your comments below. Yeah, Sub Skrilla, WWE's on BT as well. Yo, Big Stiff Idiot, the best username on YouTube. If Dubois gets chinned, that's Frank finished. Yeah, pretty much. Then he'll be the Big Stiff Idiot. Crazy D3, Dubois the next Frank Bruno in terms of style. Daniel Dubois is more... He's closer to Bruno than Joshua is. I'll say that much. I still think there's similarities. Sorry, there's differences in regards to the style. But Dubois is a lot closer to Bruno than Joshua is. Yeah, we've got Big Boys Boxing in the chat. Big up to you, sir. By the way, Big Boys Boxing, he's got a channel. So check him out. He covers the heavyweight division in great detail, knows his stuff. Excellent channel. So check out Big Boys Boxing. Based out in New Zealand. Big up to Big Boys Boxing. Surely, Box, he says, surely Arum wants... surely Aram's going to want Dubois if he beats Joyce. Top Ranker building a new heavyweight stable. Fury, Pulev, Miller, Rivas, Caballel, Yoka. Yeah, exactly. You'd think they'd want a piece of that pie. Crazy D3, he asks, what about Catterall, Sharp, Barrett? To be honest, Crazy D3, I think they're all good fighters, but I don't think they're going to get anywhere near world level. Well, Catterall's got a title shot, but I don't think he's going to do much, to be honest. Emmett Oliver, was that the last Josh Taylor interview with IFL TV? Because if so, I'll give it a watch. I've not seen that yet. Yeah, no worries, big boys, man. No worries at all. No worries at all, man. Max Kuckerman, he says, yeah, Chantel Cameron would get it. He's not a fag. She's all right. She's one of those chicks that looks gettable. Do you know what I mean? Oh, dear. Yo, Junior, thank you very much for the super chat. He says, Del, what happened to Tyan's channel? It got. I presume it got flagged, and somebody just got it taken down. I'd imagine a few complaints have gone in, maybe some legal action, and the channel's been removed. Unfortunately, you know, we live in that day and age now where you really can't say anything, and it's a shame because I really liked his content. I really did. Jay's Boxing Universe. What do you make of Jeff Horn versus Tim Tszyu? I'm picking Tim, but it's awfully risky for them to gamble like this. Yeah, it is. Tim Tszyu is very inexperienced, whereas Jeff Horn is extremely rugged. He's fought some good guys. That's a massive step up. Stylistically, it's a great fight. Jeff Horn's a good pressure fighter, gets rough and rugged, whereas Tim Tszyu's a guy who likes to fight behind that jab and load up with that right hand. It's a great contrast of styles. I've got a feeling Tim Tszyu might do it, though. I think Tim Tszyu's actually developed really well. I like what I see. You can see the similarities between him and his dad. Obviously, Tim is nowhere near as polished, and chances are he won't be as good. but you can tell he models his style on his dad. I like that style of fighting, kind of upright jab, coming through the middle of that right hand. But that's a good fight. I like that fight a lot. That's a big fight down under, I tell you that. I'd imagine that's going to do big business. Box, he says a lot of the main light heavyweights are with Top Rank too. Yard could sign a co-deal, which means Warren's going to have no say. Yeah, exactly. Warren's in a bad position right now. Oh, Big Boys Boxing, he's got Jeff Horn. He's going to kill Tim Tszyu. I don't know, man. I like the look of Tim Tszyu. Maybe I'm overlooking Jeff Horn. It's easy to do. You know, his style's not always pretty, but, you know, he's effective. He's rugged. He hits fairly hard as well. He's tough. He's durable. And like I say, he's experienced. He's been in the trenches. Tim really hasn't. So it's a very risky fight for Tim Tszyu. It really is. But if he wins that, hell of a win at that stage of his career. Hell of a win. O'Hare, he kind of likes Savannah Marshall and Holly Holm, but Gina Carano is the best looking woman fighter I've ever seen. Yeah, she is quite nice, you know, Gina Carano. She is nice. I tell you who else is nice. That Paige Van Zandt. She's quite nice. She's all right, you know. Big Boys Boxing. Tim Tszyu to fight Chavez Jr., more his level. Chavez Jr. is a big fucking dude, though, man. Big dude. Yeah, Max. Yeah, Costa Tszyu was he had like a sniper style. That's the perfect way of describing it. That's what his son fights like, but not as polished, not quite as like powerful. But he's similar to his dad, Tim Tszyu. I think he's a good fighter, Tim. I think he's a good fighter, but it's a big jump up in class early on. It really is. Jay's Boxing Universe. What do you make of Danny Garcia's reign at 140? Overrated or underrated? And how would you see Costa Tszyu versus Danny Garcia going? Interesting questions. I think Danny Garcia had a good reign at 140. You know, he was an underdog when he fought Amir Khan, so you've got to give him credit there. That was a good win. And he beat Matisse, who at the time was the boogeyman. Most people were picking Matisse to knock Garcia out. They're two really good wins. And he's got a few more good like fringe level wins after that. And that's really it. So his reign at 140 was decent. I say solid, but I think some people kind of overblow it. As for Costa Tszyu versus Danny Garcia, I've got Costa Tszyu on points, to be honest. I've got Costa Tszyu on points. I don't think Costa Tszyu knocks Danny Garcia out. I think Danny's got a great chin. You know, that's one of his best attributes, but yeah, we've got Costa on points. I think that jab could be a bit too much, and those straight punches could be too much for Danny Garcia. Box. Jeff Horn stipulated a 10-round fight or no fight at all. Yeah, that was weird, considering he's the older fighter. He's the guy who's gone the rounds. You would think he would have wanted 12 rounds in comparison to Tim Tszyu, who's never really fought that sort of fight. Big Boys Boxing, he can't see Tim Tszyu being able to deal with that Horn rough pressure. Yeah, that's the concern I have. If Tim can't get Jeff Horn's respect, he's going to struggle fighting him off. That's the worry I have. But I think Tim hits fairly hard. I think he punches hard enough to keep Jeff honest. I really do, and he's fairly accurate. So if Jeff Horn walks into too many, who knows? Maybe Tim could stop him. It's an interesting fight, I've got to say. Okay, Emmett Oliver. It was the Josh Taylor interview on Boxing Social. He really shed lights on the wanker Barry McGuigan. Yeah, I've heard a lot about Barry in the last few years. So I'll give that a watch. I'll give that one a watch, man. Yo, St. Brit in the chat here saying Michelle Joy Phelps is a man. Come on now. She's no man. Come on. Oh shit, we're fucking well behind, I think. No, we're not. We're okay. Big stiff idiot. Did you see Adam Booth get torn apart at the presser today? No, 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 no. I've heard about it though. I need to watch that as well. Avanesian's manager, Neil Marsh, apparently he went in on Adam Booth. He went in. So I need to watch that. Crazy D3, Coogan's a coconut. John Gardner, Coogan could have grasped. He could have. He could have. Jay's Boxing Universe. What happened to Rob Tebbett on Boxing Social? I've not really been watching much Boxing Social recently, to be honest. I need to catch up. Noah Zuberi, big up to you, sir. Nice of you to join us. Mikey Garcia versus Regis Progress at 140 needs to happen. Don't know who wins. That's a good fight. I think Mikey belongs at 140, to be honest. 140 or 135. That's a really good fight. I think Progress could be a bit too dynamic for Mikey Garcia, to be honest. John Gardner, he's not having any of it. He's saying she's ugly. Man, I'd smash Michelle Joy Phelps. I would, no doubt about it. Big Boys Boxing, do you think Wallin's going to stop Browndale? I think so, Big Boys. I really do. I think Lucas Brown these days has seen better days. Said days far too many times there. But yeah, I think Lucas is past his best. His punch resistance seems to have gone out the window. He's slow as molasses. He's 40 years old. I think Wallin's going to beat him up, to be honest. I think it's a clever comeback fight because Brown is done, but he's still got somewhat of a name. And potentially this fight could make Wallin look good. So I think this fight makes sense for Wallin, to be honest. But I'll watch it. We'll see how Wallin gets on. We'll see how he gets on. Box. Rob Tebbett's a coconut as well. Fucking hell. Exactly, Max Kuckerman. Thank you very much. Michelle Joy Phelps has a thick, nice body. She's no man. 100%. I'm not saying her face is like the best, but she's doable. I've listen, man. We've all had chicks that we regret, and she wouldn't be one of them. Put it that way. Jay's Boxing Universe. I can't talk. I've had a few beers, by the way, if you can't tell. Jay's Boxing Universe. Why does Mikey Garcia's dumbass keep on insisting on fighting at 147? Yeah, he looks like a fool trying to chase money. That's what he is, Jay's Boxing Universe. Mikey now is a bit of a mercenary, to be quite honest. He's a mercenary. And he's just really out there for the big paydays. That's why he took that Spence fight. I think he would like that Pacquiao fight. That's what he's really after. O'Hare, Michelle Joy Phelps in that silver dress. Wow, didn't realise how much cake she had. Exactly, man. She's stacked. She's thick. She's thick. Jay's Boxing Universe. How do you see Luis Nery and Ray Vargas going if he becomes Mando? I think Luis Nery beats Vargas, to be honest. Vargas hasn't really impressed me as a champion. He's tall and upright. He's kind of awkward. He's decent from range, but I just don't think he has enough to keep Nery honest. I think Nery gets to him, stops him in 8, 9, 10 rounds, I'd say. Box, he's like in a bit of Clarissa Shields. See, yeah, Max Kuckerman, yeah. Michelle Joy Phelps has a lot of cake. Emmett Oliver's, he's liking it as well. See, I'm not the only one. You guys are making me feel better. You're making me feel better. Big Boys Boxing, obscure fight. But I'm looking forward to seeing if Dempsey McKean is for goods on March 7th. Yeah, he's fighting Jonathan Rice. I saw that on BoxRec. I've not really seen much of Dempsey McKean, to be honest with you. Big Boys Boxing. But, that's a tough fight. Jonathan Rice is a good journeyman. He gave Tony Yoka a tough fight. I remember that much. He took Makhmudov a few rounds. Rice is a good journeyman. Yo, lads, if you could smash the like, by the way, it'd be much appreciated. Be much appreciated. Yeah, St. Britt, how good do you think Otto Wallin really is? I think he's solid. Probably around European level, I would say. I don't think the guy's ever going to be a true top 10 heavyweight, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I mean, what I am interested in seeing how far he goes based on that Fury performance. I'm interested, and obviously the Lucas Brown fight's a comeback fight. We'll see how he gets on, and from there, I want to see him start getting matched against some decent fringe contenders. Maybe Otto Warlin versus the winner of Charles Martin, Gerald Washington, for example. I think that'd be a decent fight. Why not? Football head, he's saying about Caballero. Yeah, Caballero, another guy who, so far has been he's unbeaten. He's beat Chisora, but he's not done anything in recent months. So again, I want to see him in there with some good fringe contenders. Maybe Warlin versus Caballero. That's a good fight. That's a good fight. I like that Warlin Caballero fight. By the way, I think at one point that fight was actually ordered by the EBU, but that fight never happened. Somebody pulled out. I forget who. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe that fight was never ordered. But I'm sure that fight was talked about at one point. But that's a good fight. That's a really good fight, in my opinion. Big John Fury would smash everybody on the streets. Yeah, you don't want to fuck with that guy. He's going to gouge your eyes out on all sorts. Fleemus Lofi, why is nobody calling out for Boogeyman Luis Ortiz? They all scared. Fucking hell, Fleemus. Jesus Christ. Welcome aboard, Fleemus. Yeah, Big Boys Boxing, 100%. Yeah, Caballero needs to get moving, no doubt about it. He's actually saying, Big Boys Boxing is saying Ajit Caballero versus Joseph Parker. That's what he's wanted to see. The style matchup would be interesting. It's a good boxing match. One of the better boxing matches in the division. I think Caballero would give Joseph Parker a lot of problems, but I would say Joseph Parker might be a bit too active with those quick hands, those bursts in combinations. I think Joseph could be a bit more active. He'll win a decision, I would say. Kim Jong-un, he says Tyen's the GOAT. He is indeed. Big up Tyen Booth. Hopefully he comes back. He's got his channel. Well, he's not got his channel back, but he's got a channel again. So I'll put it in the chat in a minute. Jay's Boxing Universe, biggest comeback in a fight you've seen. Mine's Froch versus Taylor and Randall Bailey versus Mike Jones. They are both really good shouts. The Randall Bailey fight was actually funny because Mike Jones was winning every single round, but I kid you not, that was the most boring fight you could ever watch. I remember watching it. I don't know what card that was on. It might have been on a Pacquiao card, but regardless, I was watching that fight and I was bored out my fucking brain. I was debating whether to go to bed or not and just skipping the card. But all of a sudden, fucking Randall Bailey cracks that kid with like a massive uppercut, and that was it. He was fucked. But yeah, that is a crazy fight, crazy comeback as well. But what's the biggest comeback in a fight I've seen? Jesus Christ. It's hard to say. It's hard to say, man. An underrated comeback was Nonito Donaire against Vic Darchinyan in the second fight, because Darchinyan was like one round away from winning that fight, and Donaire just kind of cracks him and knocks him out. But yeah, there's been a few, man. There's been a few. George Foreman, Michael Moorer. I mean, Foreman was getting beat in that fight, got the knockout. Max Kuckerman, Ortiz was peak mid-60s. Oh, dear. Yo, unrivaled boxing talk and news in the house, a.k.a. my favourite Irishman, a.k.a. a rather disappointed Man City fan right now. Big up to unrivaled boxing talk and news. Emmett Oliver, does anybody agree that Sky should sack Froch and Bellew and replace them with Naz and Big John Fury? I'd like to see it. They can't be any worse. At least you have a fucking laugh. Yeah, I'm going to wrap this up in a second, Unrivaled. I'm going to jump off, mate. Just a really quick one. I'll probably go live again tomorrow, though. Talk some breeze, innit? Talk some breeze. In all honesty, though, I think that Champions League ban's going to get overturned. I've got a feeling. because I don't understand, even as a United fan, I don't understand how Man City can get punished, but someone like PSG can get away scot-free. I don't understand that, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I think that could get appealed. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, Unrivaled was on Montero. Is it still up? If it's still up, I'll listen to that. I don't really listen to Michael Montero. Emmett Oliver, God bless, lads. I'm away. Good night and God bless. You too, sir. Thank you for dropping by, man. Much appreciated. Okay. Unrivaled. I'll check that out. I don't really listen to Montero, to be quite honest, but I'll check him out. Yeah, they should get fucking Ty and Booth on there with on Sky with Kyle Froch. That'll be interesting. Carver contradiction Froch. Okay, let's get Unrivaled on. I've got to leave at I'd say about past Unrivaled. Maybe I can sneak it out a bit longer, but I really haven't got long. Where are we at? Where's this invite function at? Fuck me. Good way to end a stream though, a Mark rant, so I can't complain. Minimax Boxing in the chat as well, by the way. Minimax Boxing, he has a channel, so check him out. Very good content, covers a whole range of fights. Young fan, but he really knows his stuff.
What up, Paul?
What's up, son? What's up, slut?
I'm good. The only thing slutty about me is my pants that I've somehow misplaced. What's going on?
I'm good, man. I'm good. What did you want to fire away? What did you want to...
What makes you think I wanted to fire something away? Can't I just be happy for once?
Yeah, you can, but you was talking about the American media, but...
Yeah. That's what I wanted to talk about with Montero, so that's what I called in, because he's in the American media. He can actually give me some fucking answers. But, my problem is, the pound-for-pound ratings in the American... I think there's genuinely an American bias on the rankings still to this day. I know things are changing. Only one fighter of the year from America in the last 10 years, but that's not going to erase the other 110 years of fucking 92 fighters, is it now? But we are seeing a change. But let's say Errol Spence, who you rate highly, he's in there. He's got a win over Kell Brook, yeah?
Yeah.
Kell Brook coming off of an injury, a stab wound to the leg, and coming down 2 weight divisions. Mikey Garcia coming up 2 weight divisions, and Sean Porter. Now, Sean Porter is a very good fighter, most credible win, but he picked up the vacant title by beating a man who lost to the dude who vacated the title.
Yeah.
Right? And Porter also lost to the man who vacated the title. Meanwhile, Pacquiao beat him. Yet Errol Spence is 4 places above him in the rankings. Yet Josh Taylor, who beats unbeaten fighters Ivan Barancic, and also beats unbeaten fighter Regis Prograis, wins a tournament and picks up the Ring Magazine belt, he's no longer there. You have Kazuto Ioka, 4-weight world champion, unified in the division, beating multiple fighters like Amnat Ramarong, who's 1-1 with Casemiro and his latest opponent. On top of that, you've got fights with Don Nietes, and he also holds victories over a fighter like Felix Alvarado, who's another very good fighter and a world champion even now. He's not there. And Kosei Tanaka, the fastest man to ever rate 3-weight championship status, toyed with Lomachenko. The only difference is he did it unbeaten. And none of these guys are there. Meanwhile, Errol Spence is. Now, if you look at everybody in the top 10 pound for pound, not looking at it right now, but let's just go Manny Pacquiao, Triple G, Arthur Beterbiev, so Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, Usyk, Golovkin, Canelo, blah, 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 Inoue even. Every last one of them do have something in common. Unlike the rest of those fighters, they all fight in America, or they've all fought in America.
Yeah.
Every last one of them have. And what that message is pretty much to me from Ring Magazine is, if you don't fight here, we're not considering you. And
yeah, I totally agree.
I think it's getting to the stage where it's like, that's cool. Ring Magazine, they're a lot less biased than the Boxing Writers Association of America. No cap. Just straight down, they are. Boxing Writers Association of America as Montero said on that stream, and in a response to me, he even said like Floyd Mayweather could club a baby seal in the ring, and they call it the greatest thing in the world. So, and it's true, it is, and there is a big changing of the guard, and it's just like, even if you look at all of the rankings, unless the division is quite weak or unless it's heavily just strengthened by the Asian consumer market, you don't see a lot of those Asian fighters, if they haven't fought in America, reach those rankings. The only way to do it is by doing it, even if you are beating the best fighters within your division via consensus. All you need is one win in America against a solid operator, and you'll move up from 10 to 3.
Well, look at Roman Gonzalez.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Roman Gonzalez, like, he had to go to America to finally get into the pound-for-pound rankings. When he was fighting in other countries, he didn't touch them. His first fight in America, he moved from outside the rankings to number 5, and then he moved up to number 1 after 2 more fights, and he had to go up 2 divisions to do so.
Exactly. So I totally agree. That bias is 100% there. The thing is, with like the Western media, there's like this, and you've mentioned it, there's this kind of viewpoint where if we've not seen it, it doesn't count, and we're not going to rate you. Like, you've got to do it in front of us for it to matter. When in reality, we're boxing fans. It's a worldwide
sport. It used to be predominantly in America. It was predominantly destroyed and owned and ruled by America. America pretty much was the peripheral, like, there was only one peripheral vision. It was which state next. You know what I mean? That's all it was. Like, the idea now that we have guys who are doing 12, 15 million views fighting against different people, like Ioka's doing 10 million, 12 million views in one region in Japan. In one region.
It's retarded, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. And this doesn't count as top tier because you're not watching it. The only reason you're not watching it is because it's not available to you. But there are better fights and it's not, and I know people will be like, oh, nobody cares about the midgets. But the thing about it is, truth be told, it's boxing. And whether you prefer a division to another, that's fine. But the competitiveness of each division, the respect and the level of competition that everybody's fighting, those lower weight divisions, they have to prove so much more to get so little amount of credit in comparison to people. If you can go into the Hall of Fame in America by fighting against three world level opponents in your career, you can actually achieve that feat. You can genuinely do that. In those lower weights, you need to beat everybody, every damn top tier opponent to be even considered worth mentioning.
It's 100% true. Like, even with, like, it's just Western fighters in general. Do you remember when Kell Brook beat Sean Porter?
Yes.
I kid you not, there are so many publications who then put Kell Brook just inside the top 10 for one win.
Yeah,
it was insane, absolutely insane. I totally agree. I wholeheartedly agree.
So that's what me and him, we were discussing, and he was giving me some answers. And I'll be honest with you, like, he writes for Ring, so I wasn't expecting him to go down that route with me. I was expecting him to pretty much try and pity patter around, and to some extent he did, but he answered.
Yeah,
he did give me answers. He did give me meaning, and he did talk about like why they're not there, and he did give valid reasons. He went more on Taylor than with Ioka and Tanaka because I think he knew that was an argument that might be a bit too difficult to just have off the top of his head.
Yeah.
Smart enough. But with Taylor, but he called all three of those fights what they call in the ratings committee because he's part of that committee on the bubble.
Of course he is.
Oh, Jesus, yeah. I'm getting a phone call.
No worries, man. I'm going to wrap up in a second anyway. 5 minutes, I say. But yeah, that was Mark's little rant on American bias in like pound-for-pound lists and things like that, which I totally agree with, to be honest. I totally agree with. Yeah, salute to Nordic Warrior, by the way. Another guy, he's got a very good channel. So if you get a chance, click on his channel and hit the sub button, man. Nordic's got a very good channel. Not only boxing as well. I really enjoy some of his more political videos. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't like those videos, but we know how it is. We know how it is. It is what it is, but it is what it is. Yeah. Makole versus Glowacki. But yeah, I can't see that fight being particularly entertaining. I mean, Glowacki's going to get hugged and mauled to death, let's be honest, and Makole's going to get away with it. He's going to get away with it. So, not really expecting much there. I'm looking forward to Briedis Dorti Kosovo. I love that fight. That's a really good fight. Briedis Dorticos, sign me up. That's what I want to see in the cruiserweight division. Two guys who come to bang, punchers, good to watch. That's what I want to see. Here he is. He's back.
Sorry about that. I got cut off because I was getting a phone call about my delivery not coming because they cancelled the order. The fucking cunts.
No, what counts?
I haven't eaten that and shit in a while, and I fancy something shit. And guess what? I can't get me shit. That's a lot of shit.
Xavier Gattier, he says, can you talk about the Wilder Fury undercard? There's not much to really talk about, in all honesty.
Charles Martin versus Jared Washington's a solid enough fight. It's interesting. It's competitive. Is a pay-per-view? Absolutely not. It'll be a good enough fight. I think it'll be a bit of a jab fest. There will be boring moments, but someone's going to sleep. Martin will probably have to be the aggressor in this fight rather than Washington. That'll be interesting because Martin doesn't normally do that. So that's all you can really talk about there. Moving on down to Navarrete versus Samaseta or whatever his name is. That's a stay busy fight yet again for Navarrete. Yes, I do like when fighters stay busy. However, you're a world champion. I would like to see a good opponent next. It's as simple as that. And there's a reason I'm saying next. If Navarrete loses to this dude, it's really embarrassing. Who else is on the undercard? Oh yeah, Fundora.
Fundora.
So yeah, the card isn't very spectacular. It's quite a boring card. It's not fun a fun card. In all honesty, the only reason you're going to be watching this entire card is for the main event. So 100%. Enjoy the main event. May the best man win.
100%. Totally agree. The card is shit apart from one half decent heavyweight undercard fight and the main event, which is good. That's it. Individual shape, he says, individual shape, whatever you say that name. Callum Smith turned down Canelo, yeah, and Billy Joe may take it now. Well, apparently Billy Joe's turned it down as well. So, fuck knows what's going on there. Fuck knows. Apparently Caleb Plant is now in the running as well. Again, I prefer Caleb Plant versus Canelo than Billy Joe or Callum Smith, to be honest. I'd rather see that. Fight.
I'll tell you now, I'd like to see one of those boys fight against John Ryder next.
Yeah, apparently John Ryder versus Danny Jacobs is in discussions. That's what I think Box said that earlier. That's a decent fight. I think that's a pretty good fight, actually.
Yeah, I do too. I like it. Now, boys, now that my food's gone out the window, should I get pizza?
Papa John's?
I was thinking so, yeah. I was thinking about getting wings and a pizza.
Yeah, you got to get wings with pizza. It'd be rude not to. You would know, wouldn't it?
That, man. I like that, Del. I like that. You got to get wings with pizza. It'd be rude not to. Especially when you haven't eaten shit in so long and you've been down so long and you're doing well. Like just the one to shred this lonely ass Valentine's Day, man.
Oh, by the way, Jim McDonald, he's actually mentioned a really good fight. I saw this on Twitter earlier. Domestic one. Luther Clay versus Chris Congo. That's official. Who wins? I think Congo wins.
Wow, man. That's a banger. They're going to go to war, man.
That's on the Avenisian.
Who was Luther Clay's last fight?
Oh, fuck knows.
Oh, man.
I think it was in Italy, I think.
Ah, man. I'm down, though. I like that fight, fam. Yeah, baby. That's a baby fight, that. I like that. Yeah. That's a baby thing.
It's on that Avenisian card. That should be a good card because Buatsi's on there. Hopefully he's fighting someone with a pulse. We'll see. It could be a decent little card, that. Conor Ben's on there. He needs to fight somebody. Johnny Garton, maybe. That'd be decent. That could be a decent little card, actually, if they make the right fights on the undercard. Fucking love that main event. Josh Kelly, Avenisian. That's a great fight. I think Kelly's going to lose, actually, to be honest. I think the pressure's going to be too much. He'll get walked down.
What, Josh Kelly versus David Avanesian? Well, I don't feel I'm allowed to comment on Josh Kelly anymore.
Why is that?
Because apparently I'm just a Josh Kelly hater. Like, you remember, I was bang on my prediction against Ray Robinson. Bang on. I got so many. At that time, that was my most disliked video. Can you believe that?
Yeah, we even said that on stream though. That like people are saying it's a bum fight. That's like a super hard fight. Like people were saying, "Oh, that's an easy fight." What's Eddie doing? We were saying the opposite. That's a risky fucking fight. He could look like shit. He could lose. So I don't know what people were expecting there. To be honest, I really don't. Avanesian is a totally different kettle of fish in regards to style. Like the pressure, that's going to be interesting, man. I don't think Josh Kelly can cope with it. I don't, to be honest. But
if he can get a win over Avanesian, then we need to talk about him.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So
if he beats Avanesian,
it's a legit opponent.
Yeah, he gets respect
Very
from me.
good. If he legitimately beats him, of course.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's whether they can legit get a win over Avanesian. Is there going to be home cooking involved? That's another thing I'm worried about, to be honest. But I don't know. I think Avanesian's going to have too much. Josh Kelly's style, man, you need power. You really do. I think you need power, and that's what Josh Kelly doesn't have. He fights in that explosive style, but he's an explosive. He's about as an explosive as a fucking Catherine reel. Do you know what I mean?
But it is what it is. It's definitely a fight that I'm looking forward to. I think isn't there another fight coming up in March as well? I think it's actually a nice little fight now. Like I think Johnson will win, but Igor McAlkin's no slouch.
Yeah, decent fight.
Decent enough scrap. Igor can put it on him, man. He can box on the inside pretty well.
Decent. He's well rounded.
Not a bad fighter. He's one of these guys who can do bits of everything, and he's solid enough on the chin.
That fight apparently is actually getting moved to May. Fucking Chisora Usyk undercard.
You mean the Parker Usyk undercard?
Just Parker Usyk.
Listen to me. They're only saying Chisora because it's in a way a bigger name kind of thing in the UK. But what they're gonna do is Joshua Pulev will be announced. You've heard this a million times from me at this stage probably, but Joshua Pulev will be announced. Blah 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 blah. Joshua's gonna get stripped of the WBO. Yada yada yada. Parker Usyk for the Mando.
And yeah, apparently it's Povetkin White, end of March, early April, something like that.
That's very, very soon. I don't see that happening. I see that being in May, early May.
Oh, sorry, April 18th. White
April
Povetkin.
18th. Am I mad at that?
I think it's a decent fight.
I'll just say April 11th, Daniel Dubois, Joe Joyce. April 18th, Dillian White Povetkin. April 25th, and Nue Casimiro. Light it up, boys. Light it up.
Pretty sick. That's pretty
especially,
sick.
Especially if the following week we have Canelo or we have Loma versus T.
100%. That's what we want to see, man. Get these fights finalized. We need to start, penciling our fucking weekends in. Because
absolutely.
I don't have any fucking excuses now to get out of fucking social gatherings. So I need some good fights to get made. Oh, apparently, yeah. So on White Povetkin, that's where they want to put Callum Johnson, and also they want to put Bakole Hrgovic on that card as well.
Oh.
So that's what I like.
Oh, fam. Bakole Hrgovic with White Povetkin?
Yeah.
That's a dangerous fight for White if his head's not right.
That's maybe a sick card as well, man. That's what I want to see. These are the type of cards I want, man. I want these heavyweight cards. I quite like these heavyweight cards.
That's because it kind of appeals to the casual in all of us.
Yeah, man. You want to see some big
just the big fat bastards slugging it out for fucking 36 minutes trying to rip each other's heads off.
It's like
trying to show that they can box.
Like you remember Chisora fucking Takam.
By the way, for anybody interested, hold on. The prelims for the card tonight, USA, DAZN USA, okay, on YouTube. We'll be able to watch it in the UK for the prelims of the DAZN card. Melikuziev will be on the prelims tonight, boys.
Oh, that's Mark's baby, fucking Melikuziev, future super middleweight champion.
Do you think I'm wrong?
I think he looks very good.
Do you think I'm wrong, though?
I'm taking him to beat the Billy Joe that Argentinian dude.
I'll ask you right now. You saw him against Von Alexander, yeah? The way he fights. Do you reckon he could do Callum Smith to the body? I do.
100%, man. 100%. We know Callum struggles with that style up close. And listen,
That
man,
speed. That
yeah,
speed.
Melikuziev, from my eye, can close for distance a lot quicker than John Ryder as well, and he's got quicker hands up close. He's just more explosive with it, a lot more explosive.
So for
So
anyone who's not in the know, for anyone who isn't, two fighters, if you are not aware of, that you need to get onto the bandwagon. So you're not the new age Loma and the new age Triple G fans. These two fighters, Bektamir Melikuziev and Israel Madrimov, ride
yes,
the wave.
see,
Ride the wave.
we were saying about the Uzbek wave months ago. We were saying about Akhmadaliev, fucking Madrimov. It's happening, man. It's happening.
Nobody was believing in the stuff.
Yeah, I want to see that Akhmadaliev again as well. I want to see a rematch actually with Roman. I think it deserves one. It's a really good fight.
I've been hearing Danny may be interested in going up to 126, you know.
Yeah, he fought a good fight. To be fair, you could have argued
Can
he
he do
won.
that at 126 though? Would you pick him to beat any of those champs?
Kanzu maybe. Kanzu's a good fighter though.
Kanzu's a hell of a goer, mate. Gonna be a war. I'd like to see that now that you've said it.
Man, I'm not sure. Maybe Kanzu. I think he can have success. Fleemus Lofi, he only rides the hype trains of names he can pronounce.
That's fair
Mate,
enough.
That's fair enough.
Hold on. Crazy D3 says, what about Quadratilo Abdul Kakarov? He's okay. He's not as good as these other boys.
Yeah. He's the welterweight dude, isn't he? Yeah, welterweight. Yeah, he's Spencer's Mando, isn't he? That's it. Yeah, the IBF dude. Yeah, he's solid enough.
Well, he's not as good as these other guys.
Yeah, no way.
Like if it was Bektamir Melikuziev was 147 pounds and he was going into Spence, I'd be more confident in him. Do you know what I mean, though?
Yeah. Speaking of these Eastern Europeans and Central Asians, that Victor Vikhurst is turned pro as well, the heavyweight.
Yes, Victor Vikhurst, Ukrainian, big guy, good puncher, solid, good jab, able to move, nice feet. He's a solid pro. Watch out for him in the pros. That's one for you, Jono. If you don't know him now, you know him now. Victor Vikhurst.
Yeah, he's changed his name for the actual pro ranks. It's like Victor Faust now, so Faust. That's what he's going to call himself.
But keep your eyes on Mr. Faust. Keep your eyes on him.
It's a peace name, isn't it? Victor Faust. Sounds like some fucking Bond villain. Something stupid like that.
Victor Faust. I hope he comes in with like a badass nickname like the Horse.
Oh, fuck you know.
Victor the Horst Faust.
L Dog, Alexander. He says Alexander Kisniak is going to KO both Madrimov and Melikuziev. Nah.
Alexander Kisniak is a very good amateur to watch right now. Ukrainian middleweight, comes forward, throws fucking tons of punches, very quick, explosive, dynamite. But he's one to watch, but no defense. None.
Minimax Boxing, Shakram Giasov's all right. Yeah,
Giasov is good.
He impressed me with that knockout last fight against what's his face? Darlis Perez, I think it was.
I think so. Yeah.
One hit a quitter, just knocked him clean out.
He's one to watch, Giasov. Another one, lower weights. Hassan Boy Dusmatov on the program.
Yeah, because he wanted to fight for a title in his first fight, didn't he?
They were talking about Canizales. I was worried about that.
Yeah, that would have been suicide. As good as he was in the amateurs, Canizales is probably the best fighter nobody knows about. I'd say I'd go that far. And I feel bad I've not made a video on him.
I've made a video on him. I did a live stream on him. Did commentary on him.
He can do everything, that kid. He can do a bit of
everything.
When
he fought Sho Kimura, mate, I was just blown away. The work rate, the jab, the speed. Venezuela.
It's got a combination of everything, man. The power as well as there. He's
just class. I'd love to see him fight Kenshiro.
Yeah, I think he'd beat Kenshiro, if I'm being honest.
I don't know. Him, Kenshiro's a war. Him and Ryochi is a war. Taguchi, Ryochi Taguchi. Yeah. Another prospect coming through, by the way. 20 fights, flyweight. Junto Nakatani.
Is he the guy who knocked out Melindo?
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw a bit.
keep your eyes peeled on that kid.
Mm. Yeah, man. Now, speaking of what was I going to say? Fuck's sake. I don't know what it was now. Fuck's
Do you
sake.
know who I'd like to see come into one of these mainstream things, like go over to the Zone or something? Egorov.
Yeah, Egorov. Yeah, cruiserweight dude. Yeah, he's solid. He's pretty
Because
solid.
he's exciting to watch.
He reminds me a bit of Povetkin.
A little
bit. Minimax boxing, good fight. Delakian versus Muflane, who wins?
Muflane.
You reckon?
Too much pressure, too much work rate. I think he gets Delakian.
Delakian's not really done anything.
Even though Muflane, to me, in a weird way, is the longest reigning champion in the sport right now. Because he hasn't lost a world title fight since 2009. Yeah, like he vacated his belt and he took on the IBO for a bit and then went back to his belt. But he's effectively been a world champion since 2011.
Yeah. Last dude to beat him was Daenerys, wasn't it?
Yeah, in 2009.
Yeah.
In 2009. And he's been in there with good fighters, including Casemiro, including Yagashi in his last fight. Like he's been in good fights, mate. Muflane is I think he just too much pressure, bro. He just constantly keeps going. He's got 2 defeats in his entire resume. One was really early in his career, 04. The other was 09, right? Or 08, I think. One or the other against Daenerys. It was either the end of 08, early 09. I don't know. But he's beating Ricardo Nunes, he's beating Casemiro, he's beating Lebronza, he's beating Tete, man. He's beating Kuroda, Yagashi, he's beating Sakamoto, Muhammad Wasim. I mean,
he's a good fighter.
He's good, bro. He is good.
Nordic, he's saying Egorov's very good. He was set to fight Perez at one point. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, he was supposed to fight Mike Perez. Yeah.
And by the way, he stopped both Casemiro and Tete.
Yeah. Yeah, he was knocking out Tete before it was cool. Before it got popular.
Like he's the type of fighter who people don't pay much attention to.
Yeah. Fuck it. We'll keep this going to 11. I'm going to go for a piss quickly.
Yeah. But Menayothin hasn't lost his belt either, to be fair. Yeah, I know, but like, when did Menayothin pick that up? Like, I don't know off my head. Like, when did he pick up his belt? I think Wilder might be the longest reigning world champion. 2014. He's a 5-year champion. Wilder picked up his before Menayothin, so Wilder's but like in a way, I look at Muflane, like he's been a world champion since 2011. Yes, I've heard of Agonesian. I'm pretty sure I have anyway. Lester Martinez and Carlos Mustard are going to be beasts. Looking forward to seeing them. Kishinyak is around the same weight as Madrimov and Melakuziev. Well, they're 14 pounds apart, so which weight is he? Middleweight, right? The lackey, yeah, I've seen that. Egorov is very good. He was set to fight Perez at one point. Yeah, Nordic, yeah. Like, I really do like Egorov. I think he's very exciting to watch. He's an interesting fighter to me. As Dale pointed out, he fights a little bit like Povetkin. So I will be looking forward to seeing him. Like, and I'd love to see him in a fight maybe with an Alexei Papin. Papin, I know he lost to Makabu, but be a good tester. Be an all-Russian affair as well. Be good to see. Hot Buns for Life says, is that McGregor? Yes, it is, my bro. How's it going, Hot Buns for Life? Talk to you soon, Minimax. Yo, I hear pussy, boys. Meow. Yo, that cat sounds possessed, Del. What are you doing to that thing? Frank the French says, yo, Del, for the night sesh. What up, Frank? I'm Mark. How's it going? Del will be back in a minute. He's just gone to do something to a poor cat. Crazy D3 says, Unrival, what do you think of Ramonov? Evgeny Ramonov, I think he's a bit old now, mate. He's a good come-forward fighter. He's a good punch variety, but I think it's just a bit too late now. I think it's just a little bit too late now, bro. Big up, Frank. Hope you're well, bro. Hope you're well. Which boxing channels do I watch? Are you talking about like YouTube boxing channels? Like, who are my favorite channels to watch? Is that the question? There you go, Frank. Enjoy those beers, bro. Enjoy those beers. Live your best life. Live your best life. Ain't nobody able to tell you what to do, Frank. So, what channels, YouTube boxing channels, do I watch run by regular people? Well,
Back again.
yeah, I'm gonna answer this. So, channels that I watch, I watch Dell Blue Collar Sports TV. Hit the like button. I watch Boxing Beats and Rhymes. I watch Boxing Squared and Big Boys Boxing for Heavyweight News and Mr. Boxing Today. Who else do I actually watch? I watch Johnny Boy and I watch BDA. Who else do I watch, man? Official. I watch Official Boxing Scorecard. Because Official's my homie. I'm trying to think. Don't want to leave anyone out, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you do that, you always leave.
I do watch Nordic Warrior as well. Nordic I watch a lot of. But he doesn't just do boxing. He talks about a lot of great shit. Just like watching Nordic talk and rant. Fucking hilarious. That's predominantly it.
Yeah,
that's predominantly it, bro.
Big up Kale Moped, by the way. I've not seen you here before, man. Big up to you. What channels do I watch? BDA, Unrivaled, Boxing Beats and Rhymes, Nordic, Johnny Boy, Boxing Squared.
Pretty much all the same.
Yeah, Right Hook Boxing, underrated channel.
Oh yeah, Right Hook. Yeah, I actually am sub to Right Hook.
Who else do I watch? There's a lot I watch. The thing is, right now I kind of drift in and out. I'm not watching what I should be watching because of like fucking time. But yeah, that's the only thing right now is time. But yeah, there's a lot of great channels out there. There's great channels I've never fucking seen. So I just try and stay away from the corporate ones that are really big. Not because not because I'm a fucking hardcore per se, but like it's just they cater to a certain audience, and you don't always get what you want from those sort of channels. Do you know what I mean? Like someone like Hatman. Like Hatman, I watch some of his videos, but when it's like Joshua Wilder and that, I tune out. But yeah, there's a lot out there, man. There's a lot out there. Now, which boxing channels don't you like by regular people? Laugh out loud. Fucking hell. I'll be honest, mate. If I don't like a channel, I won't watch it again. So I'll give you a few examples. Like someone like 78 Sports TV. I've fucking one video is enough. I won't watch that guy. I'm not one of those people who watches a video, hates the content, hates the person, and keeps on watching. It's not good for your health. It's really not. It's not positive. Fuck it, just leave it. There's loads out there though that I've seen I don't like.
Yo, Crazy D3, by the way. Yeah, big up on Ring IQ. I do watch Ring IQ.
Oh, Julius.
Yeah, Julius. Oh man, I love Julius. Julius is fantastic. He really is, and the way he labels his shit, you know what I mean? The editing and the work that goes into his content.
Yeah, 100%.
He's up there, mate. He's up there right now as the Don. He's up there as one of the Dons. Also, I do actually watch Spartan Icons as much as people may be like, oh, Spartan does this or does that. I actually do watch Spartan.
Thing is with Sporting Icons, a lot of people say he's a Matchroom fanboy, but listen, put that guy on the street and have him talk boxing with a regular sports fan. He knows a lot more about boxing than most people.
I've actually talked to him behind the scenes about stuff that people don't even know about, mate. He knows the shit.
Yeah, he's a nice dude.
Surprised me. Talking cruiserweights, talking fucking middleweights. But he does, and he's admitted it. He does have a British bias, but the reason for that is he's British, and that's fine. You're allowed to.
See, that's the thing. You're allowed to. That's the thing. If you admit you're biased, there's no problem. It's when people say I'm unbiased and they're clearly not. If just admit it, like
He
it's
says,
cool.
look, he says it himself. He wants to support his own, like the
Yeah,
UK and Irish fighters. So if that's what he wants to support and build up, more people need to do that. To be honest, because there isn't a lot of hype around those fighters.
yeah, 100%.
Like this dude's out in Newcastle gyms interviewing people no one's ever heard of, like Steve
Yeah,
Robinson and shit,
yeah,
giving them a platform.
Drago Robinson. Yeah, man, exactly. It's true. It's true. Because that's what IFL should be doing.
I'll tell you now, though, Del, you gave a really good shout. That Unrivaled Boxing Talk one, yeah, that's a great shout.
Yeah, Subtle Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News, no doubt, 100%.
Ours, like Boxing Beats and Rhymes, is the best black YouTube boxing channel. Wow, I would just say he's the best boxing channel.
It's got
for
good
my
content.
money.
I like the historical content, man.
I love all of his content. I love his view. I love the way philosophically he breaks down things. You know what I mean? That's just for me.
Yeah, Crazy D3. Ring IQ's editing is excellent. It's excellent, but it's not just the editing though. Like he knows his stuff. Like he knows multiple divisions. Like that guy even talks about female boxing, which I don't like, by the way. But that guy covers the sport. He really does. I keep on hearing about UCTV. I've not checked him out yet. I keep on hearing good things though.
Let's have a look. UCTV boxing, 21k subs.
I keep on hearing big things.
I'll have a listen.
Yeah, Nordic Warrior. That's the best way to put it, mate. So exactly, Del, because we all have a small amount of bias, whether we admit it or not. Exactly. My whole thing is, listen, I try my best to be as unbiased as possible, but I'm not going to guarantee you that I'm not biased. All I'm saying is I try my best. But I'm going to be biased sometimes, whether I know it or not. Even if it's subconscious, I'm going to be biased at some point. Like Akhmadaliev, for example, when he was fighting Roman, I really wasn't sure who was going to win that fight. And I rate both guys, but I like Akhmadaliev a bit more. Maybe that's why I picked him. Do you know what I mean? So I'm biased like anyone else is, but I just try and be fair. I'll try and be fair. I try to be. Like Unrivaled, I know Unrivaled does. Like he's not gonna, like you got your favourites like I do, but you're not gonna completely brush. Let's say you've got a fight where one of your favourite fighters is fighting. You're not gonna necessarily overlook his opponent. You're gonna still say, "Oh, this guy can do this to win the fight." Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely, 100% all the way. Like, I think I'm in a lucky place where I'm Irish, so we don't have anything worth fucking fanboying for. So like, and all my other blood, like the gypsy stuff. Yeah, sure, I've got Tyson, but like he denounced himself as Irish. Remember that? So it's kind of like,
yeah, he's denounced himself as everything though. To be fair,
that's true. Yeah.
1 minute he was British, then he was Irish, then he was a gypsy. Now he's like a Mancunian. What the fuck is he? Like, well.
Can I respond to Pablo, by the way?
Yeah, man.
It says, Unrivaled Boxing Talk. That guy is the biggest boxing know-it-all nerd. He's knowledgeable, but he's too much of a smug know-it-all that it's cringeworthy. I completely and utterly agree. And this isn't even a joke. 100%. I am cringe as fuck. I'm annoying. I'm condescending. I'm dickish. I'm irritating. I'm foul-mouthed. And I'm scumbaggery. And that's what makes me me. And I'm proud of that. Because at the end of the day, I'm on there being a fucking cunt all the time, 24/7.
100%.
That's all you can be. Is be a cunt most of the time. There's no point in trying to be fucking appeasing everybody and not showing. Like, look at it this way. There's something way more cringe than what I do. There's people out there who talk about boxing and show off no knowledge who think they have a lot. And that's way more cringe than showing off that you have knowledge.
Yeah.
I mean, Dell's on the polar opposite. He's excessively knowledgeable, but he's not smug about it.
See, I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't say I'm fucking excessively knowledgeable about it.
You are excessively knowledgeable, Ben. I'm saying it from my point of view. Because you make me think. And there's where I'm a cringe cunt. See what I mean? But people will look at that as a bad thing. But for me, when I'm watching a lot of stuff, It's very rare that people are coming up with things that I don't already see or know or whatever. You're one of the few people who can do that. That's why I
Yeah,
watch the channels that I do, because they can make me think or they can bring things to me that I don't know.
yeah, that's what we're here for, though, isn't it? Like, fucking, that's what you watch fucking boxing videos for. Like, I don't like the people I watch. Like, I'm not even like, let's say, like, I'm not going to agree with everything everybody puts out, but I can still enjoy the video and get something from it. Do you know what I mean? If they kind of set their argument in a certain way, I can get something out of it. Like, I'm not one of you see a lot of people online where they watch content that they solely agree with, and that's it. Like my favorite content makers on YouTube in regards to boxing, yourself, whoever it may be, every single one of them, I'm going to disagree on some cases,
A
but
lot of cases, actually.
but
On a
still,
lot of cases.
yeah, but I still enjoy the content. Like, it
Oh,
still
yeah.
makes you think.
And not one channel creator out there worth their salt will tell you that they like only watching people who have the same view as them.
No, then it just
Because
becomes, yeah,
it's mononymous. The truth of it is, we should be debating. We should, like, you and me, that we're like UK, Ireland. We grew up watching football. What's the thing about football that you do? Everybody's a fucking expert, aren't they?
yeah, armchair expert.
Everybody's an armchair expert, and they all do what? They argue till they're blue in the face.
100%.
So, at the end of the day, that's boxing. Even the people whose opinions that we label as retarded, they're still opinions. They are. And sometimes they can be hard to fucking break down, man.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Do you know the worst people are actually online when they talk about boxing? It's the people who like make predictions without making a prediction. So they'll say Fighter X is going to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Like, they lay out every single scenario where
Can I say something? Like, one of my favorite channels recently did that in a Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder video. So
yeah, but that's
my
different,
gut
though.
instinct is that this is going to happen, but I wouldn't be.
That's a different fight though. But you see it with like every single fight they do. Like, certain fights, I'm set on my prediction. That's what I 100% think is going to happen, and I'll say that straight out. But if it's a fight where I'm not sure, I'll be honest. Like Fury Wilder, I'm not particularly sure, but I'm picking Wilder by knockout. Well, I'll be the outcome that would surprise me the most is a Wilder points win. I don't see that happening. And the second outcome that would surprise me the most is Fury by knockout. If those two outcomes
Absolutely.
happened, I'd be surprised. But
Absolutely.
Fury points, not surprised. Wilder knockout, not surprised.
Fury via RTD?
Can't see it. Can't see it.
If I've called that shit, mate, all about before the go.
You nearly got it fucking first time around with the two knockdowns. Well, you got the
two knockdowns and the robbery, because that's what it is deemed out. Whether we like to admit it or not, the consensus is it's a robbery.
Yeah.
I know you don't like to hear it.
No,
Fury won, and you know Fury won.
I know Fury won. I said it multiple times, but like it doesn't make me change my mind for this rematch. I'm not convinced by Fury, man. I don't know what it is. It's not convinced.
Maybe I'm being biased. Maybe I'm being biased on this one. Maybe it's my Gypsy colours have shown a few times when Fury's fighting and when Huey's fighting. You know what I mean? Yeah. They have shown a few times, even when I'm commentating on Huey. I know I'm drunk, but at the same point, I think bias does come out there. I think I can't help it.
See, that's the thing. What people are getting twisted. This whole Wilder Fury thing. I can't lose here because regardless, one set of annoying fans are going to go crying. So I'm happy. I can't really lose. Like, if Wilder loses, I don't care. If Fury loses, I don't care. I'm happy.
Have you seen the titles of my videos? I can lose. If he don't fucking win this fight, mate, doesn't matter how he wins. Like, even if I've got a wrong RTD, as long as Fury wins, I've won here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So all I want to see, in all honesty, with that fight, I just want to see a fair, conclusive winner. That's what I want to see wholeheartedly. I just want to see a fair winner with no fuckery. That's all I'm really asking for, and a good fight.
Absolutely. And to be honest, I'm really, really hyped for the fight. I am. I know that there's not a lot of massive casual appeal at the moment, which is kind of sad. But for me, I am very hyped for this fight, though. Very
Yeah,
hyped for it because it's a massive fight for the division and for legacy for both of these two men.
yeah, 100%.
And if Fury does beat him, it is one of the greatest comebacks in the history of boxing. It really is.
It's just a hell of a win, full stop.
Like, people have gone off that narrative. He's still, in a way, on a comeback. You know what I mean? He really
Yeah,
is.
actually, because listen, when the guy first came back, what was the narrative? Frank Warren said it. He needs 4 or 5 fights before he fights a Wilder or Joshua. That was the narrative.
He's had those fights.
Exactly.
And in ways, I feel he has a bit of confidence going into this fight because he knows he can go the full 12. He knows he can. He knows what he has to go through to get there.
100%. He knows.
And if what they're
yeah.
saying is true, that he wasn't that full fitness and he's fitter now, if that's true, that's a factor.
He looks in good nick, I'll tell you that much.
He doesn't look no 270, mate. He looks 256.
He looks slim, doesn't he? He looks good. He looks slim but strong, like a bit more definition.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to it, man.
I actually looked at a picture of him on video and a picture of him in the press conference, the first press conference on BT, and his face. So much different.
Yeah, he looks younger as well. That's what I've noticed. He looks younger in the face.
He looks
better.
serious too. People are saying that he looks depressed. I think he looks serious. I think Fury's depression is easy to see. Watch him in the face-off with Klitschko in the second fight before he pulled out, right? I think you can see his depression. Fury's depression is where he's trying to mask it.
Yeah.
But if you watch him in the lead-up to Chisora too, he had a much more serious tone to him, more manic. Like, less manic, more, I'm going to do you some serious harm.
You big stiff idiot.
You
man.
fat idiot. Like, this guy, whatever else from Tyson Fury, boxing wouldn't have been anywhere near the same without him for the last decade.
Now he's done
whatever level of his opponents, he's done a lot for the sport in many ways. Like his talking, his trash talk, getting rid of the Klitschko era.
I didn't mind the Klitschko era, to be honest, but
Del, that's because you're boring.
Nah, Vladimir weren't boring all the time.
Del, look, give me one Vladimir Klitschko moment two Vladimir Klitschko moments that don't involve one of these two things, right? Either he's sitting there, he's a wannabe, looking at him with his earrings and his flashy flash. Either that, or the other one, which is my favourite moment, where he plants his feet, dives through the ring, and throws a flying left hook on Cooper.
Yeah, that was good. Peter, the first fight was good.
No, but I'm talking like moments where he's not. Look, the Joshua fight is his most entertaining. Outside of the Pulev fight, whatever anybody says, that thing was gold. Can you watch Kubrat Pulev Vladimir without laughing, Del?
It is funny, but like, listen, man, I've got nostalgia. Like, I remember the build-up to David Haye Klitschko. That shit seemed like a super fight to me at the time. It was a big fight, but
it was big. It was big in the UK. The numbers proves that.
But like, it's things like that. I remember the build-ups to these fights, man, and it just maybe it's nostalgia. Maybe it's just me being.
But also, don't forget, David Haye was massive in that build-up, taking the heads of the Klitschkos and everything, and.
Yeah.
David Haye is one of the greatest trash talkers from the UK ever.
The best David Haye line, your mum.
No, you know what the best David Haye line is.
This fight's going to be more one-sided than a gang rape. That's my favourite.
There you go. You fucking said it. You're fucking... Yeah,
the Klitschkos did a lot, though, for like Nordic said, actually, European sport, like European boxing. Like, they kind of opened the doors for the likes of Golovkin. They made it easier anyway.
They did open it up, but at the same point, there was that air of dominance, and there was that, like, there was never an uncertainty. You know what I mean? There was never a, like, once Vladimir developed into what he became, there wasn't that air of, I'm looking forward to this because he could lose. even with Hay, unless like you were just taken in, you knew he was going to be able to out jab Hay.
No, I was
He
taken
just,
in as a 17-year-old kid. I was truly taken in. Honestly, I was a David Haye fanboy when I was a kid.
I was
was
a David
taken in.
Hay fan too. I was, but as like I don't know what it was, but just I was still into breaking. I was breaking fights down back then. You know what I mean? And I was looking at it, and I was like, I don't think David Hayes got the balls to try and get into that pocket where he needs to be to unleash those shots. I don't think he's got the balls to try and do that. I think it's too much. I think Vladimir hits way harder than anything Hayes ever been near. Even when he fought Valuev, he wasn't willing to rush into the pocket. He wasn't willing to get in there to explode all over him and unleash combos. He was okay to do it on the counter, but with someone like Vlad, whose ability to be able to just maneuver that little extra inch and shuffle out that paw into a stiff jab, like he'd use that paw like to find range, and then he'd bring it back about a half inch and bam, right in your nose, man. This big, massive, stiff jab off the paw. Like,
I'll tell you what, though,
that's a skill.
Vladimir Klitschko in that David Haye fight. Like, you got to consider, like, David Haye was extremely fast in his prime on his feet. Like, Vladimir Klitschko next to David Haye, 6'7". How quick Vladimir looked was insane for such a big man.
I'll be honest with you. David Haye, like as Beat says, he was on jet skis in that fight.
Yeah. But David Haye, but Klitschko's feet still looks mad quick for such a big dude. Like, his athleticism in his prime was something else.
Did Haye wear fucking tennis shoes in that fight?
Fuck knows.
God,
Probably. His dodgy little toe.
But I'll tell you now, like, David Haye was a good fighter. And a lot of people look at towards the end of his career how things went with Vlad and then, like, the injuries with Bellew and say, oh, he's just had to con the public at the end. But that dude had a hell of a career.
Yeah, as Nordic said, Haye did carry boxing in the UK for a while. After, like, Calzaghe and Hatton retired, it was Haye.
Yeah, and still to the, like, I know some people who say his best win is Enzo Macronelli, and I'm like, man, Marmec.
Yeah, Marmec in France.
Marmec in France is what launched David Haye to being world-class, to being a world-class talent. And say what you want about him, he held that super belt. He did actually hold it. He was elevated to super champion for the Klitschko fight. So David Haye is officially a two-way legitimized world champion.
Yeah. Yeah, even like guys like Fragomeni, like for the European title at cruiserweight, he was a good fighter.
He was unbeaten at the time, Fragomeni.
Yeah, that's a good fight as well. But yeah, man,
either unbeaten or only one loss in like 46, 47 fights.
I think maybe because of that era, maybe I like the Klitschko's because listen, I started getting hardcore into boxing, like hardcore. I would say 2007 on. So that's when I hardcore started to get into boxing, and maybe that's why I look at that era with like nostalgia, maybe.
Yep.
But that's why I like Vladimir a lot, even Vitali, but I do like Vladimir a lot. Like part of me, listen, man, I still believe Vladimir from that Haye fight would have knocked Joshua clean out. I know we can't fucking prove it, but
the only real letdown I have of the Klitschko's is they never fought one another. But I understand.
Yeah, I'm in the minority there. I think Vladimir would have beat him,
and I think Vitali would have busted him up.
There we go.
And the reason I think that is because I think Vladimir thought that as well.
But that whole big brother, little brother thing.
I think Vladimir looked at his brother kind of more in fear than in respect.
Yeah.
You look at them next to each other. Which one shows the other one more respect? Vlad shows Vitali way more respect. I think it's something to do with Vitali. Just looks like if them two fought, I think like Vlad had a heart to some extent. And I think Vitali was a soulless, evil motherfucker.
Crazy D3, I've heard this argument a lot. Vitali had a lot more dog in him. I'm not sure I agree. I'm not sure I agree.
Dell's going to go to the injuries, blah, blah, blah.
But he quit. Vitali, listen,
I think there's a difference between dog and chin. I think that's what people differentiate. Yeah. Vitali had a better chin. He could take more punches. If you wanted to put it on Vitali, he could take more. But Vlad
would keep getting up.
Vlad will get up constantly. I think there's a difference between dog and chin.
Yeah, Vitali's tougher in terms of punch resistance, But
I
listen,
think
I think Vladimir had a heart.
Vlad can't lay down. I don't think he can just lay down. I think he'll keep going. I think you could kill Vladimir, to be honest. I think he's one of
Yeah,
those dudes. He'll just, and I think in a weird way, I kind of look at Joshua slightly like that. Not completely, but still slightly, because he does get up and he keeps going. He will
yeah.
keep trying.
I give him $1. He says, the Klitschko's were a piece of shit quiz, boring as watching paint dry. If you think otherwise, you've got a dildo up your ass. Listen, what I'll say to you is, that's fair enough. If that's your opinion, fair play. But don't turn around and tell me that someone like Rigon Diao is entertaining then. Or Mayweather. Like, if you're
I
saying...
don't think he is going to do that.
But like, my point is, a lot of people who said the Klitschko's were dull and boring are going to turn around and say, "Oh, Rigon Diao was so amazing. He was wronged for getting kicked off HBO." That's what happened to the Klitschko's. Nobody said anything because listen, fucking Rigon Diao was kicked off because he was perceived as boring by the casual audience, same way as Klitschko was. But when it happened to Rigon Diao, it was this big outrage. When it happened to Klitschko, the heavyweight champion, crickets. So come on now. I'm not having that. Listen, I'm not saying all Vlad fights were entertaining. They weren't. A lot were boring. Povetkin, fucking Abragamov. They were trash. I ain't going to lie to you. But he
And
was
as
very
boring as the
effective.
Klitschko's were, though, if anybody can name me a more entertaining saga than the Shannon Briggs Vladimir Klitschko chase for 4 years, good luck. That's the most entertaining thing you'll ever find. But UEI champ, that little fight in the fucking, or when he goes up, don't touch me, don't touch me.
Exactly. And listen, man, another thing. Whether you liked Vladimir's level of competition or not, he fought everybody. Like, if, let's say, prime David Hay was around now, like, he'd be waiting to get fights. Like, fucking Joshua, like, these guys would fucking be waiting around playing politics, like they are now. So, come on, man. Like, who's fought each other apart from Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder?
Anyway, I think we should end it
Yeah,
on that, should we?
let's move on from that shit, man. Yeah, probably gonna wrap it up.
Sorry for keeping you on a bit too long.
Yeah, and I was really gonna go off it when BDA went live, but
I'll drop you a link to that Montero thing if you want to see, by the way.
yeah, drop it in the chat as well.
Oh God.
If you can't, man, it's
Right. I'll need to find the timestamp as well.
exactly Nordic. You've put it perfectly. So yeah, we're basically the same age. I think you're 25 as well. You're in and around my age. So yeah, we kind of saw the exact same stuff at the exact same time.
We're all the same age. We all saw it at the same time.
Yeah, well, you're 26, aren't you?
It's the same fucking 25 and 26, man.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though.
Where is this shit?
This guy, man, I'm not gonna fuck off. Get out of here. Fucking nonce. Get out of here. Fucking nonsense. Listen, man. Coming in there with that nonsense, man. Fucking prick. Listen, man. That fucking imbecile, man. Put your mum's fucking laptop away, you fucking little cunt. Spastic.
Right. So me with Montero.
Fleemus Lofi's not having it. Yeah. Nah, man, it's like I didn't mind the Klitschko's. It was what it was. The fight that disappointed me most was the fucking Povetkin fight, but like anybody.
Got to 37 minutes in there.
37 minutes. There we go. Show that. Yeah, Nordic. Yeah, that's right. The first fight was set in 2009. Yeah, in London at Stamford Bridge, but Hay pulled out. Yeah.
Hay pulled out of quite a few fights.
He did.
The Dosser.
He pulled out of a lot of fights.
But yeah, if anybody's interested in American bias discussions between someone in the American media and someone not, go check that out.
Michael Montero.
Yeah, man, like it was just like a 10, 12 minute phone call, and we did have our arguments, you know what I mean?
I'll watch that.
It wasn't like it was, hey, it's probably the most respectful I've been.
Yeah. Yeah. Montero's all right. I don't always agree with him,
I
but
don't always agree with him either. You're not supposed to.
yeah. But no, he puts his stuff together fairly well. Puts his stuff
Just
together
another
well.
shit video, though, yeah? Thanks for
Yeah,
that.
thanks for that.
Safe.
Man down. Yeah, I'm going to wrap this one up, Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. If you could smash the like, be much appreciated. Always goes a long way, apparently. So yeah, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Peace.